Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of June 19th through the 25th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for soul illumination. Hi, and welcome. I am Lauren. Now, this reading is meant to be a mini reading for the week for your sign, Scorpio. So we are looking at the energy for the week ahead based on themes that came up in the general collective reading, which were opening ourselves up, basically getting into that place of receptivity to looking at where love and support wants to come in for us as we identify a long carried burden that needs to be released, which can be emotional, mental, or physical when we think about how and where we carry burdens with us. So we're going to see here, Scorpio, where that's really going to be affecting you this week. So what does Scorpio need to know about opening to receiving love and support and releasing a long carried burden? Okay, so you have three cards that came out here, so we'll see what comes up. We have All Tied Up with number 23, which reduces in numerology to number 5, which is the energy of change. We have Happy Family, which I love, number 4. Firm foundations. This card brings in the energy of the 10 of Cups in the tarot. And then we have Angel of Balance, number 48, which breaks down to the number 12, which to me is the God number. I love that number in the tarot. But this is also a very similar card to the Justice card here. What I'm getting from many of you, I think, here is when you look at these three cards together, All Tied Up, with Happy Family and Angel of Balance. It's almost like for some of you Scorpios, I think you feel a little bit like either you can't go to, there's something here around either the family is making you feel tied up, or you feel somehow that there's a lack of balance in where I'm just trying to see if I hear anything for you guys, because I feel like there's a lot of messages trying to come through for you. It's funny, I keep hearing, it's from that song, I honestly can't, I don't know who it's by, but I keep hearing, let me come home, let me come home. So I think there needs to be something here when we look at these two together, All Tied Up and Happy Family. There's this, I always get the feeling with the All Tied Up card here that it's almost like there's like this magical being and she's barely tied up. It's like she's tied up by the vines of the plant that she probably has control over. And she kind of looks almost like coy, right? Like she's like, oh, I'm tied up. You know, me, the magic being, I'm tied up by the plant that I have the power to control. And there's something about that here. It's almost like I feel like for some of you, you're holding back on realizing that wherever you feel kind of stuck or restrained, in relation to this Happy Family card, in relation to building this firm foundation for either your home or family, that it's actually because you're not tapping into your fullest power. Because you are kind of allowing yourself to maybe be controlled by your circumstances, which actually are fully in your own control, or you're just simply holding something back. I mean, we can all get to that place where we kind of lose sight of our own magic, where we kind of, we do just, again, kind of get out of that space of realizing like we are the magician in our own life. We can control that bush that's, tying us up. But with Angel of Balance, this is saying with the blue energy really coming through here, it's kind of funny because both of these cards really bring in that blue energy. And the energy, blue to me really focuses on the energy of the number 6 in numerology, which is the energy of love and the energy of what we can create in the physical, what we can manifest when we come from a place truly of working with our own love, working with being of service to others, working with also looking to follow what we love. Like we want to create more of what we love. And with balance, there's almost this feeling here of really getting to that place of, with 48 coming through and reducing to the number 12, there is this energy of kind of divinity coming through here of God helping us out when we choose to free ourselves. When we really do, I always get the feeling for me, and this is my own personal belief, that God wants us to fulfill our divine destiny. Like, we are each a little piece of the collective mass, and we each have something to do, something to fulfill, something to add, something to experience, so that in sharing of our experience, other people can experience something that they otherwise would not have been able to experience. And there's something here about bringing into balance, I think, really what would make you feel like this happy family card, going home. Like, when we think of, I'm seeing the Chariot card in my mind. When you think of going to your, kind of final destination, and I don't mean death, I mean final destination as to if you were on a trip and you were saying, I'm going to go on this long journey to go get to where my feeling, my vision of home would be. What is that for you, Scorpio? What is that final grand vision of home? Who do you want surrounding you? What would make you feel like you are this happy family? I mean, you can see in this picture these people at the beach, kind of frolicking along there. And, is that part of your experience? Is it the home on the beach where all the family can gather every summer? Is it a quiet place in the middle of a ranch, in the middle of some beautiful countryside? It's like getting to that place and realizing you have the magic to make it happen. But you have to bring into balance, I think, the aspects of yourself that maybe are kind of at odds with, should I show this part of myself? Should I? Because sometimes when we actually kind of release, I'm getting the kind of Frozen feeling here, right? Of like, if I show myself to my fullest potential, it might get almost out of my control, or people might look at me weirdly, or I might offend somebody. This could be like all of a sudden you stepping up and saying, I'm gonna, go in to get a job that might make you make more than your spouse. Something like that. And it might seem kind of like, whoa, you might be stepping on other people's toes. You might, hurt somebody's feelings, and you may think that. But in reality, you're pursuing your own magic. And the more that you come from that place of empowerment and you bring that into balance within your life from a place of love, not from a place of ego where you're like, I'm better than you, I'm gonna step on your back so I can go past you to get the promotion. It's more coming from that place of, because I love the vision of the happy family card for myself, because I love these people in my life, I'm going to show my truest potential, because I love the journey and what I see lying before me as I go out there to unapologetically show myself. Okay, so I'm going to pull some clarifiers here, Scorpio. So let's see. So for all tied up, we have Six of Pentacles, which is actually a very good card to have here. It's a card where there's a feeling of a return on an investment. But we also have the Hanged Man and the Knight of Pentacles here. So it's almost like sometimes, so the Hanged Man and the Knight of Pentacles, this could be for some of you that you're seeing a Virgo in your life from a new perspective. That Knight of Pentacles can represent a Virgo. Six of Pentacles is where things have balanced out. We understand that kind of what we put in is what eventually we will get back. We also understand that at any given time in our life, we may be on the giving side of things and on the receiving end of things. That, this can be where maybe someone gifted you with an opportunity in the past, and now you have the opportunity to gift somebody else with an opportunity. But I do think there's a change in a relationship in your life with someone, maybe you seeing someone who's been very kind of steady and solid and true in your life, because that can be a Virgo, and realizing, maybe something about them. I don't know what that is. It could also be just seeing a plan in a different way. Because when we think about what the Knight of Pentacles represents, if not a person, it represents the person who has a long-term vision for themselves. This is the person who's getting into the chariot and says, okay, I've drawn the map. I know all the different stops I'm going to have to hit up before I finally get to my final destination. And this is maybe seeing now a new plan for yourself. You're seeing and you're strategizing and planning for maybe a new trip to that. Because for some of you, I do feel with whatever has come in, whatever has changed here in your dynamic, because the Six of Pentacles can speak to that something's come in, you're at a very stable place at this point, and that maybe now it's time to change a plan, because there's something that needs to be brought into balance in your experience around the happy family. So let's go ahead and see what wants to come in around. Let's take a look at this happy family card, and then we'll look at the Angel of Pounds. Try to wrap this up here because we're getting a little long, but this is a little bit more of a difficult reading for me to grasp for you guys. There is something here, I think, around a new plan unfolding for you guys, maybe a change in what you perceived this was going to be for yourself. Maybe feeling like you're locked outside of your, kind of hearing those words of "let me come home." There's something here on maybe like for some of you felt like locked out of that for some time. Okay, so we have the Hermit that came out reversed. So I don't put reversals in my deck. So when they come out, this is definitely a pointed message from Spirit. So the Hermit in reverse can be an individual who is ready to come out from a period of soul searching, ready to come out and kind of join life again. And then we have the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. I'm going to be blunt for those of you who are in a place, not blunt, let's put it this way. I think for some of you, there's been an avoidance around wanting to either recognize that you really want to have a child. There's been, or an avoidance around wanting to really nurture a passion into existence. Because the Seven of Swords is a card of avoidance. It's one where we're kind of like wondering. It's almost like a card trying to get away with something, right? Queen of Pentacles can be seen as a mother card here, a woman who's ready to nurture her pentacle for however long it takes. And the Ace of Wands can actually speak to a child. It can speak to conception. It can also speak to the inspiration or the birth of a new idea, or getting back in touch with your own eternal flame, that passion point in our life. And so I think for many of you that what's kind of coming up here is this realization that maybe you've been in a place of really kind of looking within, of going through that kind of dark night of the soul. And there's a realization now of how much you have been avoiding either really realizing that it's time to start a family for yourself, or you've been avoiding pursuing a dream, pursuing a passion that speaks directly, that's tied directly to the happy family here. And I think now there's something around balance, so I'll pull out a couple additional cards here. I think it's time to balance your own magic, but also with kind of a course correction. I feel like a little bit with a new plan, perhaps. Okay, so we have Six of Cups and we have the Emperor. Six of Cups is a beautiful energy. That is the energy of kind of making peace with the past. It's the energy of going back to that maybe idyllic version of ourselves at some point and kind of gleaning something from the past and being able to bring it forward, a little lesson from the past on an emotional level. It's almost like it can be a card of nostalgia. And then the Emperor is a card of really standing in your power. There is something here with Angel of Balance where it's almost like you have to balance these two parts of yourself, or these two parts of your experience. One where there may have been this kind of, for some of you, you may be having to really balance an authoritative figure in your life that might have impacted you when you were a child. With these two cards coming up, this could be a very overbearing parent. This could be an overbearing, maybe even when you were, your first job, something like that, where there's something coming through around that. And I think if you can bring these two into balance to realize, for those of you who might be afraid to become a parent because of this dynamic, it's saying you don't have to as long as you're aware of this dynamic, you don't have to bring this into your current to the pursuit of the dream, in the pursuit of, let's say, starting a family with someone. This can also just be maybe just bringing these two sides of your experience, together to say, sometimes you do have to stand in your power and you do have to be the emperor, but don't be afraid that that's going to make you become the person in your past that maybe you didn't appreciate. I think there's a way to really see how to plan accordingly, but not become that authoritative figure who's going to tell everybody how it has to be. It's a change in perspective around creating a plan and holding yourself accountable to it, but not in a way that maybe perhaps had been a kind of, in the past version of yourself, meaning either a past version of yourself from a long time ago where you were kind of, whipping the horses in the chariot, or maybe where in the past, again, someone else was that authoritative figure and you saw how when someone else made a plan towards the happy family, it was more of like a get all the soldiers in a line and march and be happy, instead of the vision for yourself that you want, which can just truly be a loving family, which can be having a child or living in a home with others who love and support you, or whatever that happens to be for yourself. But there's something here, I think, about really releasing yourself from whatever you feel has been holding you back from something that really ties directly to your own power, your own magic, and what you really want to experience in your life. And don't be afraid that by doing so, you're going to become maybe a negative authoritative figure in your life that negatively impacted you. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, stepping into the power of your own magic to really embrace whatever this Ace of Wands is for you. That's tied directly to your happy family. All right. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, June Tarot Scope readings are all up on my channel for each sign, and July's, which are, again, a more expanded reading for the month, will start to be posted on the last week of June. So hopefully I will see you all there or next week for next week's Tarot Bite readings. Bye, Scorpio.